Welcome back to our channel History Coins HD. As you that old is gold, but these rare Lincoln wheat penny coin that are most valuable than you think, don't spend one of them. You're lucky if you have one of these, so please watch complete video and find your treasure. Let's start this. Top 1, where history meets treasure hunting, your ultimate destination for all things rare coins, untold stories, and surprising values hiding in plain sight. Today, we're zooming in on a tiny piece of American history that just might be sitting in your pocket change or tucked away in a dusty jar somewhere in your house. That's right, we're talking about the mysterious and highly sought after 1966 Lincoln penny. Now, I know what you're thinking. It's just a penny. 1 cent. You probably pass over these all the time without a second thought. But hold on, this isn't just any ordinary copper coin. The 1966 Lincoln penny has a fascinating story, a few hidden secrets, and in some rare cases, a value that will absolutely blow your mind. So don't go anywhere, because by the end of this video, you'll see how a single 1966 penny could be worth more than most people make in a year. Let's take a moment to set the stage. It was 1966. The Beatles were taking over the airwaves, the United States was deep in the space race, and Americans were grappling with rapid cultural change. In the middle of all this transformation, the U.S. Mint quietly struck the Lincoln 1-cent coin, continuing a coin series that began way back in 1909 to honor President Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. The 1966 penny still featured the beloved image of Lincoln on the front, sculpted by Victor David Brenner. On the reverse, it carried the iconic Lincoln Memorial design, added in 1959 to mark Lincoln's 150th birthday. But there's something special about the coins minted in the mid-60s, especially 1966. Due to rising concerns about coin shortages and the public hoarding of silver coins, the U.S. Mint made several changes during this time. For one, mint marks were temporarily removed from all coins produced between 1965 and 1967. That means your 1966 penny won't have a little letter under the date telling you where it was minted. This move was meant to prevent people from hoarding coins from specific mints, but it also makes identifying rarities from this period a little trickier. Now here's where it gets exciting. Most 1966 pennies are made of 95% copper and 5% zinc and weigh about 3.11 grams. Millions of them were made, over 2.1 billion, to be exact. But not all pennies are created equal. Some rare 1966 Lincoln cents have unique errors or variations that make them stand out from the rest, and collectors are absolutely crazy about them. So, what kinds of errors are we talking about? There are coins with double dies, where the coin appears to have been stamped twice slightly off, creating a ghost image effect, especially noticeable in the lettering or Lincoln's profile. Some examples show doubling on the word Liberty, the date 1966, or the motto, "In God We Trust." These coins are rare and command serious attention at auctions. Then there are off-center strikes. These occur when the coin blank isn't properly aligned during the minting process, and part of the design ends up missing or shifted. A dramatic off-center penny from 1966 can easily be worth hundreds, even thousands, of dollars depending on the degree of misalignment and overall condition. Another ultra-rare variant? Transitional errors. While not officially confirmed for 1966 Lincoln cents, collectors continue to hunt for coins accidentally struck on leftover planchets from earlier or later years, like silver dime blanks or the zinc-coated steel planchets from 1943. If such a specimen were found from 1966, it would make headlines in the numismatic world and be valued sky-high. Even without dramatic errors, condition matters a lot. A 1966 penny in poor condition might still only be worth its face value, but one in brilliant uncirculated condition, especially with a perfect red finish, could be worth significantly more. Grading agencies like PCGS and NGC assign these top condition coins a grade, and the higher the grade, the more desirable and expensive the coin becomes. Now, the burning question: how much can a rare 1966 Lincoln penny actually be worth? Drumroll, please. While most 1966 pennies aren't worth more than a few cents, there have been rare examples, especially those with major errors, incredibly high grades, or both, that have stunned the collecting world. One such coin, in pristine condition and with a rare error, was appraised and sold for a jaw-dropping amount. Imagine holding a simple 1-cent coin that turns out to be worth $95,000. Yes, you heard that right. A single penny. $95,000. So, what can we learn from all this? Never overlook your pocket change. Never assume that what looks ordinary is worthless. That jar of coins in your closet might be hiding a little copper treasure that could change your life. Before you rush off to dig through your change drawer, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit the bell icon so you never miss another chance to learn about valuable coins that could be hiding in plain sight. Have you ever come across a rare or error penny? Tell us your story in the comments below. We love hearing about your discoveries. Top 2, where we dive deep into the hidden world of rare coins, untold histories, and unbelievable values that could be sitting right in your pocket change. Today's story is one that's going to blow your mind, especially if you've ever thought pennies are just small, boring coins with no real value. Because today, we're talking about a Lincoln penny from 1976, a year famous for America's bicentennial, but not so much for its 1-cent coin, or so you might think. Most people remember 1976 for the quarter, half-dollar, and dollar coins with the special bicentennial design celebrating 200 years of American independence. But the humble penny didn't get a new look that year. Instead, the Lincoln cent kept its familiar design, President Lincoln's profile on the front and the Lincoln Memorial on the back. It was the same look that had been used since 1959. But hidden within the massive number of 1976 pennies minted, there are a few coins that stand out in a big way. At first glance, the 1976 Lincoln penny looks like any other. Millions were made, over $4 billion from the Philadelphia Mint and more than $4 billion from Denver. No special markings, no flashy designs. Just a simple copper coin that most people don't even notice anymore. But that's where the magic lies. Because among those billions, a tiny handful were struck differently. A few have rare minting errors. A few are in such perfect condition that collectors will pay top dollar just to own them. And one or two, well, those are truly legendary. Let's talk about what makes a 1976 Lincoln penny valuable. First, you've got condition. It might sound obvious, but most coins get scratched, worn, or discolored just from everyday use. A penny that's been sitting in a drawer since the 1970s and still has its original copper red shine is already something special. Coin grading experts use a scale from 1 to 70, and coins graded MS67 or MS68, that means mint state and nearly flawless, are incredibly rare and can command hundreds or even thousands of dollars. But then we get to the real treasure, mint errors. Now, error coins happen when something goes wrong during the minting process. Sometimes the coin is struck off-center. Sometimes it's hit more than once. Sometimes the die used to stamp the design is damaged, creating a strange or doubled image. In rare cases, a coin gets struck on the wrong metal blank. Imagine a penny accidentally made on a dime's silver planchet. That's the kind of mistake that turns a coin into a collector's dream. For the 1976 Lincoln penny, a few such error coins have been found, and they are rare. One version features dramatic doubling in the date and lettering. Another was struck on a thinner blank, possibly meant for a foreign coin. And others have deep, clear details and flawless surfaces that make them almost perfect examples of the coin engraver's art. These aren't just coins, they're history, frozen in metal. Each one tells a story, of a busy minting machine slipping up for just a second, or a lucky find by someone who paid close attention to what most people ignore. And the best part? These rare coins are still out there. That's right. Because of how many 1976 Lincoln pennies were produced, and how many are still sitting unnoticed in jars, drawers, or coin rolls, there's always a chance someone might stumble across one of these rare examples. And if you're that lucky person, you're not just finding a penny, you're discovering a piece of hidden American history that could be worth a fortune. Now I know you've been waiting for this part, so here it is. There's one particular 1976 Lincoln penny, struck in error and found in near-perfect condition, that stunned coin experts and collectors alike. Its features were so sharp, the color so vivid, and the mistake so unique, that it became one of the most talked about finds in recent years. And when it was finally appraised, its value left jaws on the floor. That single penny, just 1 cent in your hand, was worth $80,000. Yes, you heard that right. $80,000. For a penny. So the next time you get change at the store, or dig through your old coin collection, take a second look at your pennies, especially the ones from 1976. Because hidden among them could be a little copper coin that holds a big secret, and an even bigger value. If you found this video fascinating, give it a like, hit that subscribe button, and turn on notifications so you never miss another story from the wild world of rare coins. Who knows? The next treasure we talk about could be one you already own. Top 3. You're watching the channel that turns pocket change into power, loose coins into legends, and everyday sense into sensational stories. And today's episode is one you don't want to miss, because we're about to dive into the unbelievable world of the 1971 Lincoln penny. That's right, just a simple 1-cent coin that, under the right conditions, can be worth a small fortune. Think about this for a second. How many times have you walked past a penny on the sidewalk? Or emptied your pockets without even giving that tiny copper coin a second glance? Well, after today's video, you'll never look at a Lincoln cent the same way again. Because hidden among the billions of 1971 pennies are a few rare specimens that collectors are going absolutely wild over. Let's rewind time a bit and go back to the early 70s. The year is 1971. Richard Nixon is president, Disney World just opened in Florida, and Apollo 14 landed on the moon. But over at the US Mint, something else was happening, something quieter, something unnoticed, but something that would eventually make a few lucky coin owners very, very happy. The Lincoln penny had already been around for decades, first introduced in 1909 to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday. In 1959, the reverse was updated to feature the Lincoln Memorial instead of the wheat stalks from the original design. So by 1971, this coin was already an American classic, but most people still thought of it as just a penny. What they didn't know was that not all 1971 pennies were created equal. In that year alone, the Philadelphia Mint struck over 1 billion Lincoln cents, and the Denver Mint contributed more than 2.5 billion more. That's a staggering number of coins, and with so many flying off the presses, it was only a matter of time before something unusual slipped through the cracks. Enter the world of minting errors, die varieties, and rare conditions. Some 1971 Lincoln pennies were struck with what collectors call a double die error. This means the coin was struck twice by the die, but slightly misaligned. The result? A doubling effect on the lettering, date, or even Lincoln's profile. And we're not talking about a barely noticeable difference here. Some of these doubling errors are so clear, you can see them with the naked eye. In particular, the doubling on the words "In God We Trust" and "Liberty" can be incredibly striking. And when it comes to coin collecting, visible errors mean serious value. Other versions of the 1971 penny were struck off-center, creating a crescent of blank space on one side and pushing the design to the edge. These off-center errors are also highly prized, especially if the date is still visible and the error is dramatic. Then there are coins known as struck on wrong planchet errors. This happens when a coin is mistakenly struck on a blank intended for a different denomination, like a dime or a foreign coin. Imagine holding a penny that's too small, too thin, or even made of the wrong metal. That kind of coin isn't just rare, it's a collector's dream, but rarity is only half the story. The other factor that can skyrocket a penny's value is condition. You see, most coins from 1971 have been through the ringer. They've been dropped, scratched, worn down, and passed through thousands of hands. But every now and then, someone stashes a penny away, tucked into a drawer, hidden in a jar, or sealed in a roll, and it stays in pristine, uncirculated condition. When these coins are graded by professional services like PCGS or RingGC and receive a mint state rating of 67 or higher, their value can shoot through the roof, especially when combined with a rare error or variety. Bright copper luster, sharp details, nowhere, these are the hallmarks of a high-grade coin that collectors are constantly searching for. And that brings us to the moment you've been waiting for. There exists a 1971 Lincoln penny so rare, so unique in both error and condition, that it shocked even the most experienced numismatists. It was carefully preserved, featured a bold double die error, and gleamed with flawless red luster. After going through authentication and grading, this small copper coin, originally worth just 1 cent, was valued at an astonishing $83,000. Yes, you heard me right. 1 penny. A coin you could have in your hand right now. And it was worth $83,000. So what's the takeaway? Check your change. Look twice at those old coin jars. Don't underestimate the value of the pennies hiding in plain sight. Because the next rare Lincoln cent that takes the collecting world by storm could be sitting right in front of you, and it could be worth more than a luxury car, a down payment on a house, or a lifetime's worth of ordinary pennies. If you found this video helpful or inspiring, give it a thumbs up, subscribe for more amazing coin stories, and tap the bell so you never miss a rare coin reveal. Drop a comment below if you've got a 1971 penny in your collection. We'd love to hear your story. Top 4 where small coins carry big stories, and sometimes even bigger price tags. Today, we're zooming in on a coin that you've probably seen 100 times before and never thought twice about. It's small, it's copper, it's common, or is it? We're talking about the 1980 Lincoln penny. That's right, just your everyday 1-cent coin minted in Denver. But today's video is about looking beyond the ordinary, because hidden in that familiar copper shell, there could be a coin that's worth more than most people's annual salary. Before we get into the juicy details of what makes this penny so valuable, let's take a step back and look at the year it was born. The year was 1980. The United States was on the edge of a new decade, full of change. Inflation was high, gas prices were climbing, and Americans were adjusting to a fast-changing world. In the world of coin collecting, things were a little quieter, but behind the scenes at the US Mint, billions of coins were being churned out to meet the demands of the economy. One of those coins was the Lincoln cent from the Denver Mint, marked with a small d under the date. More than 5.1 billion of these pennies were struck that year. So, it's fair to ask, how can something so common ever be worth more than a few cents? Here's the thing. Most of those billions of coins are nothing special. They've been dropped, scratched, tossed in change jars, and passed through thousands of hands. But within that massive group of coins, a tiny number are different. A tiny number have something unique, something rare, something that turns them from pocket change into prized possessions. The key factors that turn a regular 1980 penny into a high-value collector's item? Minting errors, die varieties, and condition. Let's start with condition. This is a big one. A coin's condition is graded on a scale from 1 to 70. A coin in poor condition might have almost no value, but one in mint state, especially MS-67 or above, can fetch serious money. We're talking coins with sharp detail, original luster, and zero signs of wear. The kind of coin that looks like it was made yesterday, not over 4 decades ago, but condition alone isn't enough. What really drives collectors wild are errors, mistakes made during the minting process that somehow made it past quality control, and the 1980 Lincoln penny has a few error types that are worth watching out for. First, there's the famous double die error. This happens when the coin is struck more than once with slightly misaligned dies, creating a doubled appearance in the text or image. If you find a 1980 penny where Liberty or In God We Trust appears doubled, look closer. That could be a huge find. And next, we have off-center strikes. These happen when the coin blank isn't lined up correctly under the dies, causing the design to appear partially missing. The more dramatic the off-center error, the higher the value, especially if the date is still fully visible. And then there are wrong planchet errors. Occasionally, a Lincoln penny gets struck on a blank meant for another coin, like a dime or a foreign denomination. These oddball coins are extremely rare and often sell for thousands at auction. The final piece of the puzzle is rarity. Even among error coins in high grades, some are one of a kind or nearly impossible to find. That's where things really get exciting. Because when you combine a perfect grade with a dramatic error and the coin is from a date and mint that collectors pay attention to, you've got something special. And yes, that includes the 1980 penny. So imagine this. You're sorting through old coin rolls, or maybe cleaning out an old coin jar at your grandparents' house. You spot a 1980 penny with the D mint mark. It looks shiny, really shiny. You take a closer look. The lettering seems a little off. Could it be? You send it in to a coin grading service, and when the results come back, your heart skips a beat, because that penny, just 1 cent to most people, is actually one of the finest known examples. It has a strong double die, it's in pristine mint condition, and it's certified by the experts. The value, that single, ordinary-looking penny was appraised and sold for $75,000. Yes, you heard that right. $75,000. For a penny, let that sink in. A coin that costs almost nothing to make. A coin you might have passed over 1,000 times without even noticing. A coin that could be hiding in plain sight, waiting to be discovered. So what's the lesson here? Don't underestimate your pennies. Take a closer look. Check the date, check the mint mark, and definitely check the condition. That next rare coin could be sitting in your pocket right now. But if this story amazed you, make sure to give the video a thumbs up, subscribe for more jaw-dropping coin discoveries, and tap that bell icon so you never miss a chance to uncover hidden value in everyday coins. And if you've ever found an unusual penny, or think you might have one, let us know in the comments. Your story could be the next one we feature. Top 5 where the ordinary becomes extraordinary and where we turn everyday coins into stories worth telling. Today, we're about to uncover a mystery hidden in plain sight. It's small, it's copper-colored, and chances are you've had hundreds of them in your hand without ever realizing the potential they hold. Today's video is all about the 1975 Lincoln penny. Now, we know what you're thinking. It's just a penny. right? Wrong. Because not all pennies are created equal. And this particular 1-cent coin, minted nearly 50 years ago, has a secret that could turn your spare change into a small fortune. Let's travel back in time to 1975. It was a fascinating moment in American history. The Vietnam War was nearing its final chapter. Saturday Night Live aired its very first episode, and the country was preparing for the bicentennial celebration of 1976. Amidst all of this cultural and political change, life went on as usual in places like the U.S. Mint, where coins were struck by the billions to keep up with the booming American economy. The 1975 D Lincoln penny came from the Denver Mint. You'll spot the small d right below the year on the coin's front. In total, over 4.5 billion of these pennies were made. That's right, billions with a B. So how could something produced in such huge numbers ever be rare? The answer lies in the tiniest details. Because when you're dealing with billions of coins, even the slightest variation, an error in the die, a misalignment during the minting process, or the use of the wrong metal, can turn a common coin into a collector's dream. Let's take a closer look at the coin itself. Like other Lincoln cents minted from 1959 to 2008, the 1975 D penny features President Abraham Lincoln on the obverse, his sharp profile a symbol of enduring American leadership. On the reverse is the Lincoln Memorial, standing proud, representing not just the man but the ideals of unity and democracy. But the real story isn't in the design. It's in the secrets hidden beneath that shiny copper surface. Now let's talk about what makes some 1975 D Lincoln pennies worth way more than a cent. First, there's condition. Most coins have been handled, tossed, dropped, scratched, and worn down. But a 1975 D penny in uncirculated, mint-state condition is something special. These coins are carefully graded using a scale from 1 to 70, and anything above MS65 is considered extremely high quality. In fact, some coins have survived the decades in such pristine shape that they look like they were struck just yesterday. Those are the ones collectors will pay a premium to get. But wait, it gets better. The real magic comes with rare mint errors. Have you ever heard of a double die coin? That's when the coin is struck twice, but slightly off-center, leading to doubled letters or numbers, like the date, the word liberty, or in God we trust. These coins are rare, and when the doubling is strong and visible to the naked eye, the value jumps significantly. Then there's the off-center strike. This happens when the coin blank isn't properly aligned, causing part of the design to be missing or shifted. A 1975 D penny struck 10%, 20%, or even 50% off-center can become a hot commodity among collectors, especially if the date is still fully visible. Another kind of rare error is when a penny is struck on a planchet that was intended for a different coin. Imagine finding a 1975 D penny that's too thin, too light, or even silver in color because it was accidentally made using the wrong metal blank. These wrong planchet errors are extremely valuable, and let's not forget die cracks, clipped planchets, and repunched mint marks, all of which can increase the value of a penny dramatically. Sometimes, it's a combination of these factors that makes a coin truly one of a kind, but condition and errors aren't the only factors. The number of known examples plays a huge role too. A coin with a dramatic error and only a handful of surviving specimens will skyrocket in value. Now, here comes the exciting part. There have been reports of a particularly rare 1975 D Lincoln penny that checked all the boxes: a bold, unmistakable double die on the obverse, struck on a misaligned planchet, and found in near-perfect mint-state condition. It was authenticated and graded by a professional coin grading service, and collectors took notice fast. After much buzz in the coin community, this coin was valued and eventually sold for an absolutely stunning price. That single, tiny, copper-colored coin, worth just 1 cent on paper, was purchased for $78,000. Yes, you heard that right. $78,000. For a penny.so, the next time you're sifting through loose change or digging through an old drawer full of coins, take a closer look at those 1975 D Lincoln pennies. You might just be holding onto a hidden treasure that could change your life. If you found this story exciting, do us a favor, hit that like button, subscribe to the channel for more fascinating coin tales, and tap that notification bell so you never miss out on the next big discovery. And if you think you found a rare penny, tell us in the comments. We might feature your story in an upcoming episode. Thanks for watching, and remember, sometimes, the most valuable things are the ones we overlook every day. Keep searching, keep collecting, and stay curious.